With the dawn of a new calendar year, you may arise with renewed vigor for personal change, but by the midpoint of the year, you've fallen off that workout routine and let your heart get broken by the Toronto Maple Leafs again. Oh wait, I'm sorry, that's just me. Thankfully, in the meantime, we have had some pretty gosh darn good wrestling matches to elevate 2024 in our collective minds. We here at PFK HQ have put those minds together and agreed upon what we believe to be the 11 best matches that the wrestling industry has provided us through these last 6 months. Let's have them then. I'm Tempest hailing from partsFUNknown, and these are the 11 best wrestling matches of 2024 so far. But before we get on with our list, make sure of course that you like this video, subscribe, and enable notifications to always on so you never miss a fun list just like it, and make sure to check out our new video game channel Control Freaks that just launched this past week. You can check out the first ever live stream on the channel right now, and you will see a clip of it at the end. Number 11, Sami Zayn vs. Gunther, WrestleMania 40, Night 1. I don't know how many people would have predicted Sami Zayn to be the one to dethrone Gunther when his now legendary reign began 2 years ago, but then again, I don't know if anyone could have predicted how the last 2 years of WWE would have gone full stop. In all that time, our beautiful boy Sami Zayn had his entire bloodline character arc, bringing him back around to being a beloved babyface and the most believable babyface he had ever been on the main roster. 2016 or 2017, Sami could not have beaten Gunther. 2024, one of the best babyfaces in the business, Sami Zayn, that's a different story. Any Gunther match has an easy case to make for a spot on a list like this, something like it starts and ends with Gunther. That being said, I will never not be shocked to see Sami Zayn hit Gunther with a brainbuster on the turnbuckle at WrestleMania. That feels like it should be a combination of words that crashes the simulation within which we all live, but it is real and it helped deliver the finishing blow to the greatest Intercontinental Championship reign of all time. Number 10, Josh Alexander vs. Will Ospreay, TNA Impact, January 18th. The unbreakable triple threat has company. For a long time, there has only ever been one option for what was the best TNA match of all time. It was that one. But after a few Will Ospreay appearances, suddenly there are more choices to go through, like this one from the January 18th episode of TNA Impact. Will Ospreay grew up a big fan of TNA, so it only feels right that he should bless their ring with a few more 5-star matches. Also, Will doing the Styles Clash in a TNA ring just meant a little bit more than when he does it anywhere else. For the last few years, Josh Alexander has been the standard bearer for TNA and an underrated candidate for the best wrestler in the world. So getting to see him once again mix it up with arguably the best wrestler on earth is just a level of competition that is almost impossible to match. You had table spot craziness, you had homages to the TNA days of yore, and you had Josh getting one of the biggest wins of his career in Will's last match in TNA to date. If TNA's year ended there, it probably would be looked at a bit more favorably. Number 9, Bayley vs. Io Sky, WrestleMania 40, Night 2. For too long, Bayley was the maligned member of the Four Horsewomen. That may sound a bit bizarre given that Bayley's 2 reigns as SmackDown Women's Champion were longer than all 7 of Charlotte's, and Becky's, and Sasha's for that matter, but when you look at Bayley's track record at WrestleMania, you really get the sense that she has rarely been at the forefront of WWE's mind when booking the biggest show of the year. Hell, after carrying the women's division during the entire pandemic, what did she get at WrestleMania? Hosting next to Hulk Hogan. It's been disappointing to be a Bayley fan at times, so when she won the Royal Rumble and was set up to face Io Sky to cap off a near 2-year relationship, Bayley finally had the chance to deliver a show-stealing match at WrestleMania, and so she did. The work in this match is so crisp. I see replays of Io flipping out of the rose plant in my dreams, and this comes not only as a fan of Bayley, but also of Io to get to see these two completely underrated and fantastic wrestlers steal the show on the grandest stage of them all. Number 8, Will Ospreay vs. Swerve Strickland, Forbidden Door. This door may have been as forbidden as an unlocked Canadian front door, but hot damn did it ever provide an energy that was completely absent from the rest of this year's crossover spectacular. 2 young, driven, hungry fighters battling over who would lead AEW into the future is the perfect formula to create an immensely heated and moving main event match, and really, that is what AEW is needing right now. Will Ospreay is practically untouchable bell to bell at this stage, and if you haven't learned that through 4 entries on this list, oh, you wait. And Swerve is managing to become a bigger star in real time right before our eyes in matches like this. Will's inner conflict to remain a good lad had been built tremendously during his first few months in the company and was paid off very well for this chapter of the story, with everyone's favorite screwjob-wielding thumb-shaped manager trying unsuccessfully to tempt the Billy Goat to the dark side, while Swerve once again showed that he has no such conflict. It is simple storytelling effectively layered on top of spectacular wrestling, and that is my jam. Number 7, Cody Rhodes versus AJ Styles, Backlash. Simplement deux. Yes, let us first address the many very noisy French elephants in the room. Some people have said that the French crowd at Backlash was actually self-indulgent. Others have said that the crowd made this main event match as revered as it is. Well, I'm here to tell you that both of those groups are wrong. I mean, the crowd does make the match better, but it was pretty darn special on its own. After finally winning the big one, Cody Rhodes needed a top-tier title defense to remind everyone that they could look forward to the top champion being on every pay-per-view again. Enter AJ Styles, who really needed a bounce-back performance after quite a few years of circling the mid-card. Thankfully, we got both. AJ had his best match in bloody years and boosted his main event stock tremendously, even if he did get beat with only 1 crossroads like an absolute scrub. Come on, AJ, we all know it takes 3 of them to get the job done these days. Number 6, Will Ospreay versus Konosuke Takeshita, Revolution. The AEW faithful had seen Will Ospreay a number of times to this point, but at Revolution they were invited to his debutante ball. Will had his coming out party before him with some, quote, friendly, end quote, competition, and I say quote, end quote, because no one who would drop your ass upside down on the ropes, leaving these marks on your back is your friend. This match was just excellent, and I know that goes without saying given the nature of this list, but everyone was asking to see this match in the office after it happened. I watched it live, I watched it with Ollie at lunch, I watched it with my partner when I got home, and every time I watched it, I loved it more. Konosuke Takeshita has become AEW's break glass in case of emergency great match guy over the last year, and honestly, the debut of the new top babyface of your promotion is about as good a reason to pull out that ace from your sleeve as you can get. Number 5, Bryan Danielson versus Zack Sabre Jr., New Japan Pro Wrestling, new beginning in Osaka. Submission wrestling! If anyone has watched the Danielson-Sabre match from Wrestle Dream last year and not seen their rematch in Osaka from this February, they have done themselves a disservice. This is the brilliant match from Seattle, but more. More graps, more holds, more techers. I love this match so much. Again and again, Bryan and Zack proved that technical wrestling is not the boring medium that some portray it to be, and against one another, they once again produced a masterful display befitting the 2 best masters of the technical wrestling craft in the world. The Japanese crowd actually helps this a lot, as the more respectful audience reacts very positively to the breaking of holds in the ropes, putting even more emphasis on the fundamentals of the match and building the drama on display when the 2 lads just start battering each other while in dueling heel hooks. If Bryan took the easy way out, winning with a wrestling move at Wrestle Dream, Zack proved his superiority here with an old-fashioned roll-up. If that sounds silly, it's because it is, but it only makes me love this match more. Number 4, the Young Bucks versus Darby Allin and Sting, Revolution.
And now for something completely different.
For Sting's final ever wrestling match, we probably knew we were going to see something incredibly special. Some may have thought that something special would have been limited to Sting's sons appearing dressed like him, and you know what? I bet most would have been satisfied with that, and a good match, but then Darby Allin did the stupidest thing I have ever seen in a wrestling match. Or, pardon me, the stupidest thing I've ever seen in a wrestling match so far. If it isn't for you, that's fine, but if you were a jackass kid, this probably popped you like it did me and a number of others in the office. But for as amazing as all of these things are, the fire up and comeback of Sting in his final match, taking apart these dastardly Young Bucks, could have brought a tear to my eye. I say this because it did. It's just exactly what the final match of Sting should have been, and we all talked about whether he should put someone over on his way out or not in the lead up to this show, but when it was all over, it was clear the only way Sting's career could end was with his hand raised in Greensboro. Number 3, Michael Oku versus Will Ospreay, Rev Pro, high stakes. Probably the match the least amount of people watching this list would have seen, but definitely the personal favorite of mine. 2 years ago, when I did my list of every 5-star match of 2022, I said that Michael Oku versus Will Ospreay was the best storytelling match of the year. Now, with these two a little older, a little wiser, and much better in the ring, they had the best singles match I have ever seen live and one of the best matches I have ever seen, period. 47 minutes of some of the most heated, most emotional, and most masterfully performed wrestling you will see in front of a British crowd that was saying goodbye to one of their own. I could pick out any of the moments in this match to highlight. The tribute to Mad Kurt, Will wiping out Amira, the many false finishes that all built to the final moment where Oku finally proved he was above Will in the land of Rev Pro. It is a perfect match, and to that crowd on that day, there is nothing that these lads could have done better. If you take one thing away from this list, it is that you should seek out this match and tell Michael Oku he is a tweener on Twitter. He'll love it, I promise. Number 2, Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns, WrestleMania 40, Night 2. Now, the reason I couldn't say that last match was the most emotional match of 2024 so far was because this match also exists. Is it the best example of two folks exchanging holds and putting on a good old-fashioned wrestling bout? No, but you know what it is? A goddamn WrestleMania main event. It might be the most WrestleMania main event of all time. You don't get to end a 4-year title reign every day. You don't get to have the Avengers assemble to take down the biggest bad guy in the industry every day. Hell, you don't even get to have that happen at virtually any WrestleMania. The stars aligned for what can only be remembered as one of the most cathartic moments in WWE history when Cody Rhodes finally defeated Roman Reigns to win the WWE Championship, like all the Cody crybabies always knew he could. It is also very well wrestled. It isn't exactly a breaking news story that Cody and Roman are very good at this thing, but the graps don't matter as much. Like, is the Super Bowl halftime show the best concert of the year? Maybe to some if you love the show of it all, while others may prefer a beautifully performed rendition of their favorite music done flawlessly in an intimate venue. Everyone can have that preference, but there is no question that the Super Bowl halftime show is the biggest concert of the year. This match was that, complete with all the freezing temperatures, bells and whistles that make it as great as it is. And number 1, Will Ospreay versus Bryan Danielson, Dynasty. Now, every once in a while, the graps do just top everything, though. AEW putting together the roster that they have has meant, among other things, that they can put on the absolute best wrestling matches in the world today by putting the absolute best wrestlers in the world in the ring together. That is exactly what we got when Will Ospreay and Bryan Danielson went hold for hold, Psycho Knee for Hidden Blade. I don't think there has been a match of this caliber anywhere in the world since Kenny Omega defeated Kazuchika Okada. And if you disagree, I respect it and would love to see the matches that are comparable. People like to throw the term aura around in wrestling these days, but to me, when the people chant holy shit at just a pre-match stare down, that is aura defined. I don't care that there wasn't 2 years of story behind it. The story of who is the best wrestler being told by two people with a claim to that is perfect pro wrestling, and this match told it to an unparalleled degree. Good luck to all the matches left to happen this year. You'll need a lot to top this one. And that's our list. Make sure, of course, that you like this video, subscribe, and enable notifications to always on so you never miss a list just like it. And make sure you subscribe to Control Freaks. You can check out a clip from our live stream right here.
Whoa, the green shell.
Come on.
Here we go, here we go, here we go.
Oh, what the hell?
All right, we're going this way.
Blue shell.
We're going this way, I guess.
No! Piece of Mario Kart game.
What happened?
No! What happened? Blue shell. Oh, that was me. I just lost all my I got a blue shell now.
Is that why you're